Sounds like a personal problem.
Thanks. Thanks for your support there. My hat look okay?
Yeah, that's good.
I need a nap.
I'd love a nap today.
Maybe we'll get one later.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Ozzy will be all played out by the time we get home anyways.
Yeah, I'll fix her lunch. I may not get to go thrifting today. Let's see.
Maybe you should get to go. Why not?
Depends on what mood she's in.
Oh yeah, true.
And she's like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
But she might be feeling it. She did pretty good yesterday.
She did. But you haven't taken her to a thrift store by yourself.
No, I haven't.
It's hard.
Just give her different things to
She just wants
play
to
with.
touch stuff. And then I'm like, she like wants to put her mouth. I'm
Yeah, because that's all like used.
She found a stuffed animal and she was licking it. I was like,
Yeah,
it's not.
that's gross.
It really grossed me out.
I mean, but she just like eats stuff off the ground too,
I know.
and dirt and things.
Who licks the dog's bowl?
She does lick the dog bowl. She's got a good, strong system though, I think. You know?
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Ready to roll? I think you said yeah already to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Recording on a Sunday. Hey. What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit Podcast. What this podcast does is bring in guests from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life to share their stories, everything in between, and we take it from here to there and everywhere. So if that is for you, please check this out, like, subscribe, all those important things. If that is not for you, you've got a problem, and you need to jump on board and find some inspiration and listen to these amazing stories from people all over. Now, without further ado, for episode number 100 of the Relentless Pursuit Podcast, back again for the third time, my beautiful, my amazing, the number one person in my life, my wife, Lydia Adams. Yay. Babe, it's good to have you here.
Good to be back.
Yeah. So, how you doing this morning?
We're making it.
I haven't seen you since a little bit ago at the house. Yeah, it's not like we're getting reacquainted like another guest, like, oh, catching up. This is every day.
Yeah.
Now we're just having a conversation on camera.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
So exciting.
It's been an exciting journey for us already.
It has.
Yeah. So this episode, I pushed back. I was ahead on recordings, and it took some time to figure out who wanted to be my 100th guest, right? And I was trying to find a big name and all these things. And then, I was sitting there and I was in the shower, and she was laying in bed, and I was like, man, I got my 100th guest right there. Like, who would be better? Because for those of you that don't know, or just jumping on board with this on this episode, I've been in this building just right at 2 years. And she sent me a picture yesterday, actually, that was 2 years ago today, where we were putting stuff together in the gym back there. And just 100 episodes, just right at 2 years of putting out episodes once a week, every week since then.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And in that time frame, we started dating. I moved in here, got engaged, had a baby girl, got married, and I've still been grinding away at this. And it's been a hell of a road. So this is pretty much what embodies business, marriage, and babies. Ain't that crazy?
It's wild.
It's wild.
It's
Thanks,
wild.
Yeah. It has been wild. So she's been here since the beginning. And she's like been with me through all the ups and all the downs. And vice versa. Like, we've been together through it all. And so it's, I don't think a lot of people really understand what the journey's like, especially, building a family in the midst of a business.
Starting a brand new business.
Yeah, pretty much a brand new business. I mean, it's been freaking nuts. And probably I would say it's been like the hardest thing I've ever done.
I mean, it's been hard.
Yeah, it's been really hard. So I just I don't know, give me your feedback. Like, I guess you know, because often people hear my perspective, right? Like, I'm here, I'm working all the time, you know, financially, being a small business, building a brand off of you and bringing people together to believe in that and all these things isn't easy. It's not like I have like some product that the world needs that I can just like put out there, like an iPhone, right? Just example, like people need phones. I don't have something like new technology that's just like going to take off. It's just like you're building inspiration, you know? I don't know. What's it been like for you, honey?
I have my days. Some days it's really like, it's always cool to see it happening and like see the growth from like day one to now. But I mean, I have my moments where I'm spiraling and I'm freaking out and, you know, it's almost, is it worth it? Do we go a new direction? But then the faith is never there that it's not going to, you know, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
That is for sure.
I think, you know, a lot of marriages would fail.
Yeah, because you know there's light at the end of the tunnel, but you don't see the light right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know it's coming. You know every week is an improvement. Every week it's growing more and everything. The growth is there. The people are there. The passion for it's there. But it's like, when are you going to get your big break?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's, I think early on I was like, you know, this time next year, like this is going to be when things shift, right?
And that part's hard too, because in my head, I'm like, okay, you give me these hard deadlines and these hard days. And then when the expectation isn't met on those days, that's kind of when I start spiraling. It's like, well, you said this, you know, that was going to happen this day. And it's 6 months later from that day and we're still not there.
Yeah.
And so I think you and I both have had to come to that agreement of like, hey, we don't give hard deadlines anymore. We don't set the expectation of like, the expectation's there, the goal's there. It's going to happen, but it's going to happen when it happens. And we just kind of have to, Rome wasn't built in a day. We have to trust the process.
Yeah. And by, you know, it, you know, she refers to as like, you know, maybe like that financial breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, this business has just been like, pretty much I cover bills. And then there's not much exceeding that. It's just like making it every month. And it's tough. You know, it tests you, like, because you want to provide and you want to exceed those expectations. And it's a lot. You get a little emotional thinking about it because, you know, like, yeah, you give the hard deadlines and you're like, holy shit, like, yeah, I mean, I got this shit. Like, by then, we're going to be at this level. And you get there and you're like, see all this growth happening. And then things are just like more expensive and there's more costs.
Yeah.
And there's more of this and more of that. And you're like, well, I'm still fucking like just getting by. And
But yes, you are just getting by, but we have absolutely everything that we could ever need.
yeah.
You know, we always have food on our table. We have food in the fridge. We have food in the pantry, and literally in drawers. We have an abundance of food. We have a roof over our head. We have clothes on our back. We have everything we need.
Yeah.
And you provide all of that on top of everything else that you do, which still all the time, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. And it's wild to me to even know how you do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Ozzy and I are never without. You're never without. So I don't want that to get twisted. That
no, we live a good life. I think it's just, you know, I think it's just on a broader level, right? Because you want to. I think that's a huge challenge itself because you know, you're trying to, I'm trying to grow a business, right? And then, and growth takes money, like, especially to take it to new levels, right? And then it's just like, everything is growing organically, but you want to invest. I want to invest into the business, right? And there's nothing I can't do that the way I want to And like, there's never going to be a lack of challenge. Like, I'm always going to push for new challenges, but you want to have like the financial breakthrough. So that way you can at least set that part aside and just take on challenges that you want to, if that makes sense.
One
right?
less stressor.
Yeah. Cause it's a stress for most people in the country today. Yeah. Like no one, like, yeah, there's people that are crushing it, but there's majority of people are just kind of in the same boat, whatever their circumstances are. They're just like, they want to exceed that, you know? And of course we can circle back around to like what you need and what you want, you know?
Yeah.
Most of us actually have what we need. And that's one thing we always have to circle back around to is like, you know, we got nice vehicles, all the bills are paid. We live in a home. Most people in the world will never live in an actual house. You know, we got food, we eat well, we got all the clothes, and we got a lot of love.
Yeah.
And that's the key right there. So finding gratitude in what you in the abundance you already have. Like most of America, we live in abundance, but yet so many people are so just like ungrateful of that. You know, they're like, I need this and that, but really you got everything you need.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, if I'm spiraling and I'm freaking out of like, for whatever reason, or you do the same thing because we're not where we want to be financially, you know, we both kind of like reel each other back in and be like, hey, we have everything.
Yeah. And life's good.
Yeah. Ozzy's happy. We're happy.
Yeah.
Like it, you know, we don't even need the keeping up with the Joneses feel to, you know.
Yeah, no, that doesn't matter.
No.
At all. You know, it's just, but it's part of the journey. That's the whole thing. And that's what this episode is really about, is like the journey of, you know, building a business and both having like multiple career paths in our way and starting a family. Because I mean, you know, I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs and they talk about how it's the hardest thing they ever done by themselves. Like just like maybe they just get to focus on their business and they're like, holy shit. But then having a newborn right at the beginning in a marriage, like, holy shit, the layer that adds of like just
it's a different kind of stress.
Energy. Yeah. And it's good stress. You know, it's stress, but like stress is not always necessarily bad. And it's also how you look at the stress. And you know me, I've had some times where I've been like so stressed out to where like getting freaking things on my eye. What do you call those things? Styes, and just like you know, just a lot of shit. And I got to worry about my health. But then I've like recently learned how to really embrace the stress and like look at that pressure as a huge privilege. Like it's a privilege to be able to like come to work every day and do what I love. Like that's such a amazing thing. But there's also, like we talked about, like that price to pay, because it's a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and like always maintaining the vision of believing that it's going to grow and grow and grow. And when nothing's promised, you're going off of believing in it so much that like, you know, and you don't know when like the takeoff is or that huge incline. I think it's just it's a lot to, I don't know, it spreads you thin, but in the best, like, but it's in a good way. Like I love it. Like I'm like, oh.
I also think like the point we're at now. I mean, Ozzy's won. I think we've kind of figured it out, and not like, you know, there's really no balance when it comes to owning your own business and a family and all that. You just kind of have to almost take it day by day. But you know, there were those times where you were getting up at 4 a.m. and coming into work by 4:30, and then not getting home until 10:30.
Yeah.
For a hot minute, and finally we were like, hey, that's not gonna work, you know. Yeah. Because I take care of Ozzy in the morning, I work all day, I'm taking care of her at night. Like it almost had like a single parent feel.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we had to readjust that, and now you're home for, you know, dinner and bath time and bedtime, and if you need to go back to work, like you go back to work after. But
yeah,
it's just kind of relearning schedules and shifts and
yeah,
it's
and constantly readjusting.
Yeah, it's taken, you know, this whole time to kind of get that figured out, and now we kind of move in like a smooth
Yeah. Yeah. In our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We figured out, we know how to adjust things. And like, and then you said, like I get home earlier so I can spend time with y'all because y'all are the purpose. Y'all are the priority anyways, but still coming in super early and like always getting after it. And like we, spent the day on the boat yesterday, on the parents rented a pontoon on the lake and we just spent the day doing that. But I got to be here after we record and work because, that time, no one else is going to take those hours and do the work for me. And I'll wear every hat now in the business. Like I'm just taking on more as we've progressed, which is crazy. But I still got to get all the things done. Yeah. So it just means, okay, well, I got to just work extra this day and that day and figure the fuck out. So it's been fun. And I think it would be a good idea to like kind of start at the beginning of our journey in a way, and I think from where we last left off, if you want to look back and like a couple earlier episodes and get Lydia's journey, I'll try to remember to put the number of the episodes in the caption and like things we've worked through already, having different spiritual beliefs. And I think that'd be kind of cool to bring up too, because, we've talked about that and, your experience of my beliefs and being around it and all that stuff. So yeah, let's start at the beginning of the journey a little bit. So, back in 2022, summer 2022, or spring 2022. I was like, when I made the decision to get the building.
You were in by summer, so I guess it was spring.
Yeah. Signed the lease and go because they had the build out. So I signed the lease in late spring and then moved in. And then, I guess from your perspective, because I've talked about it on here, what was it like that first, 7-8 months when it was just me in here? I guess, because I moved in the building in June or July. I didn't have my grand opening till August.
Yeah. So,
and then I was like, okay, I'm going to have these trainers and all these things going on. And then it didn't happen like that.
Yeah, that part was hard to watch for me because you got let down by, and it happened in such a short period of time. You got let down by so many people within probably a 6-month span.
Yeah.
And it was one person after another, these promises not upheld, these big dreams that you had just like almost crushed in a sense, and you had to redirect and re-gear what your vision originally was.
Yeah.
So all of that was really hard. And then, seeing you have to mentally take on that load was also hard. And the whole time, like, I'm like sick, pregnant. So it's just, it was like a whole lot.
Yeah.
It was, I would say the first 8 months was the hardest.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I'd be here freaking out.
Yeah.
Like trying to just figure out, I'd spend half my time trying to figure out direction.
Because you would come into work and it's like, you didn't have clients yet. You were trying to get a clientele built up. You didn't have trainers that were training. People were coming in to want to train and, they said they would do it and they had all this stuff. They were going to start this date. They never showed what communicate. It was just, it was a lot of letdown.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, is this actually worth it? Because how could anyone make this dream happen on their own? Like, you need a team. You need people to back you and be there and kind of help the dream come, because you're only one person at the end of the day.
Yeah, because the vision, like with the headquarters, had I just wanted to record a podcast, I would have got like a room somewhere.
Yeah.
And fix that up. Not a whole ass building that I was signed for 5 years with a build out, I paid for mostly, and I already invested like at that time, I think it was like, just to get into the building, I had to pay $20,000 up front just for the build out.
I think it was more, honestly.
Yeah. And then, but that's added, the remainder of that was added into the lease. So here I am, like 8 months, just myself, like watching my savings just month to month. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it was, but we made it through, I think.
Aaron was the first one to take walk in. This one that started having a little more hope too.
Yeah.
Saw Aaron come in and start doing the massage thing. And he was just getting started. You know, it's not like he had this huge lucrative thing going on. It's been a journey for him too, a new business venture.
But then you started, you started getting clients and gaining more clients and more clients and more clients.
Yep.
As it went on, and the shifts started happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah.
We're going to make it.
Yeah. Then Jesse came along, and we got things done for him, a little more of a build out and more people in the door. And still, though, couldn't find other trainers, so I was just picking up a heavier workload of clients, and that kept me pretty busy, and also recording the podcast, So just a lot more work laid on. But, hey, at least there was shit happening. That's how I was looking at it. I was like, hey, I got a bunch of clients. I got these guys here. Like, this is a massive improvement from day one.
Yeah.
Or
6 months prior.
6 months. Yeah, 6 months in.
It probably took you every bit of 6 months to get that momentum, to get the clients, to get all of that.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. And then, like, in that time span, I think, 10 people just turned their back on me like that I was close to. And not to mention, a lot of false promises. And at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. That's just part of the growth aspect. And I think you got to just look at it from an angle of, like, that's the universe doing you good work, is, like, one, eliminating people that shouldn't be there in your life, that are only going to slow the process and be toxic. But two, there's a reason those people weren't training. Maybe they would have caused some bigger problems. I don't know, but it all worked out. So there's still moves to make, and, I'm prioritizing this now. But, I mean, hell, but in that time frame, like, while we were in that season of me just in here, we got engaged.
Yeah.
And
a month later.
A month into that, a month later, you were pregnant. Which is funny. We talked about that, on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. when you told me, and I'd eaten an edible because I had a stressful day, and it was a Friday, and I ate an edible, and we drank. You poured a glass of wine. You
did not tell people that you. I'm like, babe, come in the bathroom, and you come in the bathroom, or you come and and I'm like, I think I'm pregnant, and you literally melt into our bed. You just, like, lean back and stare at the ceiling, and I'm like, Joe, I can't undo this. Like, we can't take it back. Like, no take backs. Like, I need some kind of reaction. You're like, I'm just thinking. And I'm like, there's nothing to think about. Like, I need you to be happy. I need you to say something. And you're like, I'm just freaking out. It was not a good time. So the next day was a lot better when,
For those of you that I understand what taking an edible is like, you melt anyways. So then that was an extra melt.
It wasn't intended. I don't know what prompted me to take a test.
Yeah, Joe's on an edible. Let's just take a pregnancy test.
Well, I was like, we're about to go on vacation with your family. I want to have a good time. Look, I still don't know why I took one, but
hey, you know what? At the end of the day, like,
it's
for that
funny.
being said, it's not that I wasn't stoked. I was stoked. Like,
you were definitely stoked. Like, next day you're like, holy shit, like, we're having a baby.
Yeah, I think it was just a lot of information to take on, and I'm like an edible brain.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh shit. But yeah, and then that was in the midst, and I think it was just like, obviously, understanding the pressure, like, when I was in that position of, like, still
figuring out
solo in this.
Yeah.
Holy shit, like, I gotta, like, provide for a baby now, like, a family. That's crazy. That's a lot to take in. You don't really have something stable happening career wise.
And we already had the wedding pretty much planned out. I found my wedding dress the same day I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, ordered all of it. No refunds on that either. So, I mean, I had, like, a hairdresser ready for, like, Utah to, like, do Mount Zion for our wedding, everything. So we had to nix those plans, and our wedding day still couldn't have been more perfect.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was I don't even know when that was.
That was
that
was
August.
September, yeah.
Yeah.
End of August, 2022.
Yeah.
And then Yeah. And then that was, it was crazy. And so I was like freaking out more. I'm like, fuck, got a lot happening and coming up, and so going into the next year, you're pregnant and you had a pretty hard pregnancy.
Very sick. Yeah.
It was hard to watch, like guys, like when she wasn't just like morning sickness, it was like, no, she was sick all the time. And I was like, shit, man.
Like you had to drive me to appointments.
Yeah.
They would give me like cute bags in the waiting room.
Yeah. It was a rough road for you.
It was.
But, come that following, as obviously by that time you had Ozzy.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing experience that day for both of us. By that time, at least this place was a little established more. We had Jesse and Aaron both in here, and I had like a good clientele, so things were a lot more steady as far as this goes. So
it was, but then we had her a month early, and we were kind of prepared for her due date, and then that didn't happen. So and we were in the hospital for 4 days because she was early. They had to do extra tests, all that stuff, and then we get home on a Saturday. We get home on a Sunday. And then you're back at work first thing Monday morning.
Yeah.
So you didn't even really get to. That part was hard.
Yeah. It was hard for me too, but I knew that's what I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
It's not like.
You were still able to take us to her appointments and
do stuff like that.
Drive, yeah.
Yeah, the freedom to do those things. But unfortunately, like I said, anything I miss, I got to make up work-wise, clients, all the things, the email, I got to catch up on all of it. Yeah. So it's like, podcast recordings were like, I still had to get the episodes in. I wasn't going to let that, slack for weeks. So it was just like, yeah, to come straight back to, I did what I had to do as a man, as a provider, right? It's like, well, I want to be there with my family. But I don't have a career that they just give me baby leave too. Like I gotta get back to work.
But it was hard, but I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe, I knew you had to be up early. So I never woke you up at night. I handled all of it because I was on maternity leave. I was able to sleep during the day where you had to be up at 4 a.m. and work all day. So
yeah,
it worked out. People are like, you didn't wake him up. I'm like, no. He has to go. He has to do what he has to do. I get to take naps during the day while I'm home with her. It makes zero sense to make him completely drained when he can go get up, do what he needs to do, and then come home and help me.
Yep.
For whatever, it just.
We just made it happen.
Yeah.
Like we're just learning how to adjust along the way. So, and we did.
I think the adjustment was easy.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad.
No.
Guys, having a baby is what you make of it.
It is.
People, I get, obviously, the more you have, like, yeah, that's a lot more work. We got one, but it's still a lot of work. But yeah, it's not like, I don't know, it's not bad. It's not hard. It's hard, but like, it's what you make of it. Like, I enjoy it like crazy. It's the best thing in the world. It's the most rewarding. So one thing I do want to ask though, along this journey, right? Like, so we talked about the spiritual differences. Christian woman, pagan man, very different worlds. Actually, not so different when it comes down to like the value structure and the traditional beliefs and whatnot. Because we align like on almost everything.
Yeah.
We just believe in different gods or whatever, right? And but when it comes to what we stand for morally and with our values and everything, like, we're on board. Like, we align very well. That's why part of why we do thrive so well. And I think the mutual understanding, her, yeah, I think the first time you came to a pagan thing of mine, we were, it was that summer, 2022. Mm-hmm. And, we did ritual. It was the first time being a part of this, something like this. And,
there was no heads up.
No heads up.
I did not get a rundown of what it was going to entail or be like or what to expect.
And it's hard to give that because, like, it's organic, right? It's built, ritual and stuff is built off of, like, when we get there, the energy. We're in nature. We don't
but you being gone to a few of them, a few midsummers now, there's still, like, some form of, like, structure and, like, some form of, like, what to expect. And you were like, I can't tell you.
Yeah. I mean, because it could change, I guess. I don't know. Just it's an organic process to us. And so I didn't really know what to tell you to expect. Like, hey, it's just a pagan ritual in the woods, but so funny because we get in like that Airbnb we're at, and during ritual we had all chanted runes and stuff into a tree, and we're touching this tree because there's a massive connection with nature, the aspect of nature and connecting. And I'm like, "Are you good?" She's like, "No, I just saw
No. We, after it's all done, I just kind of like walk back up to the house and just go into our room. We go in our room and you're like, you just seem really, off. Like, I wasn't really like letting you like touch me. And you're like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I just saw my boyfriend praying to a tree. I'm not okay. You're just like, no.
I was like, no, we weren't praying to the tree.
And I was like, yes, you were.
Oh God, yeah, it was. I was like, Jesus, like, here we go. No,
so
but
now everyone makes fun of me for that. But
yeah,
okay, you got to think, that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah,
I've grown up in church my whole entire life, and so all of it's like very taboo to me.
mm-hmm.
And to see that and not have any kind of like expectation or just an idea, it threw me off a little bit.
It's a new world, though. I mean, and the thing is,
it's different.
Yeah, but to explain the tree thing, like, we chant the runes, like that's energy at the time of that ritual where we were at. To us, that's the center of the universe right there. So that tree is like the conduit. That's the connection to the gods, everything higher to God, everything above us, right? And so we're channeling that energy there, and it's going to the heavens. And so that's what that is. It's like a church. When people gather in a church and they pray and they do their thing, they worship. Well, that church essentially is, in a way, the same thing. Like, they're like, we're putting all this energy here, and that's, God seeing that. And we're worshiping from this space.
None of that was explained prior to the praying to the tree.
And well, it's explained. Jeez, but it's easier to explain after the experience, right? It's like throwing yourself in the fire, and then you're like, whoa.
I was still weirded out like the rest of the night.
Yeah, you were. It's all good, though. We had a good time.
Yeah. It was just, yeah, so that was interesting.
Yeah, but you've still been part of things,
Yeah. It's still not for me.
Yeah.
To each their own, but, I support you.
Yeah, but, you still get to see everything and, like, kind of understand it deeper as we go.
Yeah.
Like, you've been to a few different things since then. And, but you've got to see, like, I guess the individuals. I don't know. You said something at this last one that was cool. You've got to watch, like, from the outside.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to know all of your guys for the most part, the ones that are kind of constant. And they've just all really grown into really, like, the men that y'all say that y'all are, I've seen them grow into that. Which before I was like, hey, you say you stand for all this, but y'all don't act like it.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of makes me question, like, it. But I've had this conversation with you, that y'all say y'all uphold all of these standards and values and all this, but then you do X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, how can you say that you're that when you don't act like it?
Yeah.
And so to see from then to now, like, see all these guys, like, grow into that.
Yeah.
Just grow into, like, really great men. It's been really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of that's, well, it's been, early on, too, we lost a couple dudes that were not necessarily meant to be there, part of it, those guys that are now on the JV team or Powder Puff team, I forget which one. I don't think they made another team, actually. But anyways, people that were, like, messing with the energy that were just negative parts of it. But also, like, the guys that are there now that are just, we all, we've been going through some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we had all been kind of in crazy life transitions at the time.
Well, and I think their partners that they've chosen have, like, really helped that too.
And I think just us being consistent together as a crew and just, like, lifting each other up and staying in communication and helping each other grow. Like, we're all going on our own journey too.
Yeah.
But to be better, we have to like do it as a crew, you know? And I think that's the thing. Like we're just like anybody though. Everybody goes through crazy seasons.
Oh yeah.
And like, but
at the end of the day, it's still really cool to be able to say like, hey, I've known you for this long.
Yeah.
And you've become this incredible human being.
Yep.
And to like be on the front row of that and see that and just, you know, it's just really wholesome and organic. Like it's really cool.
Yeah. And I think it says a lot about, I mean, both, yeah, all of us, but you too, like, thanks, babe. Sticking with people through their worst.
Yeah.
You know, and like a lot of people go through bad seasons. You've experienced this yourself, and you've had friends that you've been in your worst place that have literally bailed on you at the toughest time of your life, without even trying to understand and being selfish pricks about it. And but like they're not there for that growth and who you become today. And it's the same to say about any of the individuals in my life or even myself. Like you pay attention and you're committed to those that have been there for you through your worst, because then they get to see the glory of sticking there and seeing you be at your best version, and then you get their support too. I don't know. And then I think it's just a beautiful thing, but people don't want to be by people's side. Yeah. Because they just like, oh, they're at their worst. I guess this is who they'll always be. And it's like, no, if you actually stick with them, you can help them grow, but you got to see it through.
Yeah.
But that's how the strongest bonds are built. Just like this, you know, sticking through the hardest times, but seeing the growth and being a part of it. And that consistency only leads to the best outcome. Yeah. But you just got to tough it out for some time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's been fun having you there and be a part of things. Everybody loves you too. And just so y'all know, Lydia is like the MVP when it comes to like preparing food. Like she's the shit. Like she makes like every ritual weekend I go to, she prepares all these like key lime pies for us. And then she's like always breakfast casserole. Yeah.
I have my staples.
Yeah. And like I
did knock it out of the park this last time though.
You did. Breakfast casserole, the key lime pies. You made
dinner
for
everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And having y'all part of like sending Balder off, the God Balder. And if y'all want to know, I can explain that stuff deeper. I don't want to get too into it, but sending Balder off and having Oz be kind of a part of my world too, you know, because we've taken her to church and stuff like that. But to be able to just let her see that. She doesn't know what's going on. She just sees like this.
She was screaming the whole time.
Yeah. But like even prior, like when we were prepping things and, you know, I gave her a piece of the meat that we sent off with Balder and whatnot, and her like being able to take part in all that. It's like pretty powerful to me. That's a very important moment. So it's just really cool just how our dynamic there. And like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people out there just think it would fail because of the spiritual stuff. But I think it's only like forced us to learn more about each other and actually get stronger. Yeah. So
because it doesn't have to make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, you know, but I still ask the questions and I still want to know like your why. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm there for you. Yeah. Just the same way, you know, when I ask you to go to church with me, you're there for me. Yeah. And I don't know, it just works. You don't you don't have to, it doesn't have to make sense to you why I believe what I believe. Yeah. But you respect it enough to still be a part and go and not be closed-minded.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, people open your minds. And, you know, I do got to toot the cruise horn. Like, I mean, what kind of love? You ain't seen no love like that. You know?
I was going to say that. Like, some of literally the best people. Yeah. Just all around. I mean, would do anything for you. I would know they would do anything for me. Like,
you mean we don't come off as an extremist, like hateful organization?
No.
God, if someone saw a picture of us on the internet, though, they would probably think that.
But you know, if I didn't know y'all just by your appearances, I mean, y'all are big dudes covered in tattoos, and you have a look, but y'all are like teddy bears and just the sweetest men. I mean, it's cool.
I appreciate that, babe, and it's been an honor having you a part of things. So many years ahead of it, you know, that's family. So I'm grateful for that, and I think it's just interesting to hear your perspective because it's been you've been part of that too for a couple years or so now, and it's been pretty badass. So I think it's awesome. But and then you know, moving forward, outside of that aspect too, you know, I'm trying to think like. obviously here and then bringing Ozzy into the world. I'm curious to know, my friend had brought this up. One, a couple things. One being, I guess, during the growth of the business stage, right? Like where we're at, right? And what is it like, as a mother and a wife, as a mother to Ozzy, but a wife to me, someone that's just like so hell-bent and driven and fiery about like what I am pursuing and like willing to do whatever it takes, I guess. I guess it's just like from your perspective, right? Because I have my vision and like my outlook on it. I don't expect anybody else to. That's because I'm the one doing it.
Yeah.
I have to have that. That's just natural. I don't expect anybody else to see what I see. But I guess, like, I don't know. How would you say it is from your side of things, watching me?
I think growing up with an entrepreneurial dad and seeing like my parents' dynamic really shaped me into this, because I think without that it would be really hard for me to be as understanding as I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw my dad bust his butt day in, day out my whole life to make the business he did and the sacrifices he did for my, me and my sister and my mom. And seeing how my mom, like, she stepped into her role as being like a stay-at-home mom and taking care of us. And he, worked and provided and created his own thing. I think that really
helped.
I think that definitely helped, because I don't think any person not growing up in that environment could handle it.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Because as hard, I mean, we talked about it before, like there's been really hard times.
Yeah. And
it's been, you have to work late, but then I need you and Ozzy's not cooperating and I'm stressed out. Work's been stressful, or we don't have a sitter, so I'm having her all day by myself plus work, and she's not cooperating with me and not napping and teething or sick or whatever it is. And then to have you need to be at work for 12 plus hours, it's hard. Like, yeah. So I love it because it's something that is very attractive to me, is that your work ethic and your drive. And
thanks.
Oh my God.
Glad you're attracted to me.
But it's an attractive quality that I see, that you have. And so I think it takes a special kind of person for it.
Yeah.
So
because it tests you, like you said,
yeah.
your time's tested together.
Yeah.
The family and all the different aspects of it. The communications can be difficult because, like, you feel how you do, but I'm just like, fuck it, I'm moving, go for it. And I just like, it's just like one way vision. In a way, right?
And I think there's a lot of grace on both ends. Like, you give me grace when I'm frustrated and like I need you home, or I just want you home because I want to spend time with you. And I give you grace when, hey, you need to work a little later, you need to come home and spend some family time, but you need to go back. Like, there's a lot of communication and understanding and grace given. But I think it's really cool. But I think it's because I was raised in some kind of environment like this.
Yeah.
That it makes me be more understanding in the situation.
Yeah.
Because I saw like all my dad's hard work, what it provided for my family growing up.
Yeah.
So like I can see all your hard work providing for me and Ozzy and her future.
Exactly. And on the same token, I'm extremely grateful for that support. I'm glad you were able to experience that and have an understanding of what it's like, and my journey and my path's a little bit different than your father's, right? But still, we're pursuing our own things, and it takes it takes a lot, and your family has to believe in that and support you in that. And so, it's I mean, just to see the weight you pull as a mother and as a supporter in that, in my path, and just everything. I mean, it's above and beyond, and you, I mean, I feel like I do like show gratitude pretty often, but I feel like there's never going to be any amount of gratitude I could actually show like like, I could never put it into words.
Yeah.
You know, all I can do is just keep fighting for you guys and doing my best and maxing out. That's like, I don't know how else to pay you back, because you do go above and beyond. And I know it's a lot on you. And so, you know, it's just like, it's such a important thing. And like, I think a big thing too is just learning how to communicate with each other, because
Huge.
God, communication, I mean, that's the key right there. I swear to God it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because we've had some arguments for sure, because I take everything pretty personal, because like all of this is very personal. I take our relationship personal, like every aspect I do take it personal, especially when it comes from my wife, because I care about you so much. And so I care how you feel about things. And so learning how to like communicate when like.
And our communication styles are different. We make it work. And I don't laugh because we argue, like, but sometimes it's a little ridiculous. And I will own some of them.
Come on, tell me what you. Yeah, she does actually. Well, I think what's cool is, like, you know, I talked about the other night. Like, I used to be just like sorry about everything, like in past relationships. Like, I never really owned shit. Like, I didn't genuinely own shit every time. I just like said sorry just to like get past it. Yeah. But I think, you know, since those, I've learned to be like, no, dude, like, stand your fucking ground.
But I've told you, like, don't let it. If something I'm doing is bothering you, tell me. I want to know, because I don't want to keep. Because that's just gonna eventually just, you know, add layers, and then you're just gonna explode.
Yep.
And you know, that's something that we've worked on.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I want to know what are our difference in communication styles?
Well, when I get frustrated, I like to just zip it. I don't want to be pressed. I need a moment to decompress.
Yeah.
I need to be by myself, or just like, you know, deep breaths. And you're like, let's get it done now. Let's talk about it. I'm not leaving until you until this is fixed. And I'm like, because in my head, I'm like, we're married. Like, you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I just need a minute. But I think in your head, you're like, oh my God, she's going to leave me. She hates me. She doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like go to extremes.
You do.
In everything I do. So.
But the communication style, it's just, you know, you need to just fix it right then and right there and be able to squash it.
Yeah.
It might take me 4 hours. Okay, I wouldn't say that long. I'll come around eventually. I still might be in a mood, but I just, you know, when things get heated, I'm just like, okay, I need to walk away, because I don't want to get so frustrated or worked up that something comes out that I didn't mean.
Yeah. And I think in my mind, I take it so far that like if I don't hash it out then it's like I can't focus on anything else. I got to like work and do other shit, but like I got this thing lingering over me that's not even that big of a deal probably.
It's not. You're like, I'm not leaving, because what happens if I get into a wreck? And I'm like, going across the street.
Hey, I will say.
You're driving through the neighborhood to go directly across the street.
I mean, last year I did wreck into somebody on my way to work.
Okay, you're in a giant truck now.
Yeah. But, you know, I guess, I mean, I do say that, like, that stuff's real to me, because I did almost die, right? And, like,
okay. Don't make me feel bad.
I do say that. I told you that, though.
Okay, I know this, but you're also in a giant truck. You're not on a bike. And it's just you commuting to work through our neighborhood. Like, I think we'll be okay. You know, things happen, and I do understand that.
I know.
But it's like, you know, and I'm like, you're literally going 2 minutes up the road. Like, if you need to leave, you can leave. We don't need to hash it out right now.
I think I'm just a very passionate person, so like I care so much about, like, passion is like drive and passion, man. I think I care about you so much, and I do hate that like those things linger. So if we don't like squash it, then it weighs on me heavy, and it fucks my focus up on a lot of other stuff, because I do care. You know, and I'm like, people will say, like, don't do that. I'm like, that's just who I am, man. I like try to work on it.
Or like, I've let it go.
I think I've improved, but a little bit better. And there's sometimes I do better than others, but it's just like a constant growth. But like, obviously learning.
And then sometimes they're straight up just like after the fact, I'm like, that was stupid.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, she's just like, I'm so sorry. That was so silly of me. Like, I can't believe I just took it there. You're such a great man. And you're like, I think
that's what you think happens in your head. ahead.
I'm just playing. No, but it's and I think too, and that's another thing about marriage, because marriage, I mean, for us, it's been just awesome since the day since we met. Like, we've had a beautiful relationship, but you know, and I don't think we would have even, I think, take away the building a business. I think those disagreements or headbutts would be very minimal.
Oh yeah,
because we get along so well and we're pretty chill.
yeah.
Like, I'm definitely the more fiery one, but when it comes to like those things, we're just very chill. But like, this adds such a different layer. Not even, and I wouldn't even say parenting for. I mean, you get a little frustrated with me because I don't do things like maybe the way you do. I mean, you're the mom, but I do things a little bit differently with Oz, like just like my dad way. And like, you know, things just click with you a little better. And sometimes I'm just like, what do I do? But yeah, I think I handle stuff pretty well. But I think it's not even that. I think just the business, a lot of stuff that go along with like building a business and just like all those stressors. I think that's like the main thing. And yeah, I think that's the whole thing right there. So I think understanding that as well, but learning how to do all that and, you know, looking down the road to when things take off.
Yeah.
You know, it's always going to be.
Well, we didn't get a business running itself, or even married first and then have a business running itself and then incorporated a baby into it. We
Let's do it all at once.
All did it within the same year, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. Literally figuring out how to run a business, figuring out how to be parents, figuring out marriage, with like zero time to enjoy one thing after the other. We got to, you know, lump it all in together and enjoy it at the same time. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I say it all the time. Like, I'm very proud of us. I mean, because you got a full-time career on top of that.
Yeah.
And you've been doing your real estate stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, of course, I'm like, hey, let's start school. Be a full-time student on top of it all.
There's no chill.
There's no chill. But what kind of life is that? Well, it's like Jeff said on the last podcast. He said in his book, it says, yeah, probably. She doesn't like my tapping. I've got a lot of energy. Jeff said, why do you want to arrive at death safely when you want to get there all used up? And I'm like, well, that's the thing. Like, I just want to use every bit of me up, because when I do die, I want to know that, like, I don't want to have, like, I don't want to be at the end just like, oh, man, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Like, I'm going to fucking spend it all, because, like, why wouldn't I? You know, I was given this life, and I was given a second chance.
Yeah.
To spend it all. I know that. So it's just like, I got to like exert every bit of passion and energy I have out into the world before it's all said and done, which could be tomorrow, which could be 10 years from now, 20, 30, 40 years, who knows? But I got to give it all until then. So I think that's just like my mindset of thinking. And like I said, I do think extreme, but I also do think I do have my experiences that have justifiably made me believe that way.
Brain.
Yeah, but you also understand that about me as well. And I think I
don't see it as a negative in any stretch. You know, I love that you're so fiery and passionate. Your whole family is fiery and passionate. I mean, it's just, you're born into that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. By really honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Adams, man, we're the shit.
Y'all are.
I love it. Yeah, we are. We're guns blazing, but it's cool. So, and you know, like I said, we balance each other out very well, because you're a very passionate person, but like, you're like the ocean.
I'm just like even kill.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes.
Very calm. For the most part.
Sometimes you get those big swells and then like big waves and sharks infested, and I'm like, oh God.
That makes me sound terrible.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking, babe. You're sweet. No, but you are like the calmness of the ocean, and I'm just like this fucking meteor flying right above it.
But you need that. You need that.
I do. No, if we were both like me, I mean, things would be like the world would be on fire.
Yeah, house exploded.
No, and that's I think that's finding that dynamic extremely important.
We complement each other really well in that aspect.
Yeah, this is why I don't think you should ever personally, I don't think you should find someone just like you in a relationship. You know, like if you were just like me, it'd be pretty chaotic. Yeah. And if I was just like you, it'd be totally different. Like,
so boring.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel boring because like we do so much, and we where we got such chaotic lives. It's like a Saturday that's Sunday and that's sunny, and we're just like, let's just hang out on the couch all day long.
Yeah. But the prior 3 weekends, we've been, out Friday, doing stuff Friday nights, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Like, it's constant. Or we have people coming in from out of town, staying at our house. Like,
yeah,
it's, it's once a month that we're just like, okay,
yeah,
let's do nothing. And it's like 100 degrees and I'm not getting out in the sun.
yeah. Screw that, man. Winter come back around.
You're just talking about like our parenting styles are different.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, because Ozzy's walking now. She's technically a toddler, and you'll be carrying her through the house. You're like, babe, I need to go to the bathroom. What do you want me to do with Ozzy? And I'm like, just put her down. Like, let her play. No, is she going to be okay? Are you sure? And I'm like, we do this every day, all day long. She's going to be fine. If you need to go pee real quick, she'll be okay.
Yeah,
or just take her with you. Like, either one. I don't really care.
But then she'll scream.
But I'm like, I'm in the middle of something. I'm not going to take her. Put her down. Let her play. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just like, but then she screams and I feel bad. She cries.
She'll be fine.
She's like reaching at me and I'm like, I guess I don't know. I'll hold you.
I won't go to the bathroom.
I'll wait till your mom can get in here because like I'm not abandoning you. I feel like I'm abandoning her. Just going to poop.
You can leave the door open and see her.
Yeah, but then, yeah, I know. I'm getting better. It was another thing I do too is like, man, it's just funny. Like when it comes to like wiping her, changing her diaper. Yeah. Like you go through like, I also know how you consolidate in just like a couple wipes, and I go through like 10 wipes at least.
Yeah, every time. It's like 3 wipes were good, and you use like half a pack for one poop.
Hey, I got to make sure she's thorough. It says a lot about me. Everybody already knows, like, I'm known for, like, bringing a pack of Huggies wet wipes everywhere I go for myself. So I'm like, I'm going to give her the same treatment I take care of myself and have a clean butt.
Her butt's a lot smaller than yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't want to use.
At the end of the day, she's clean.
Yeah, she's
very
clean.
That's, that's fine. But it's just funny when I like walk by and you're still like pulling out wipes and like still like wiping her butt. I'm like, okay, let's go.
I think it's just like a dad thing because I talked to Landon about it and he's like, he goes through so many wipes.
I did see like a little meme that it was like moms changing their baby's butt and then dads, and it was like 20 wipes compared to the 2.
Yeah. And then the vehicle differences. Like I saw that video I sent you. It's like my truck always looks like pretty immaculate. And then yours just looks like
lived in.
Like if someone threw like a grenade in there.
Okay, but we're me and her in my car a lot more than we're in yours.
I know. It's still funny though. It's just like, but it's a thing because I sent you that video and it was like Dad's car and it was just like nice. It like had nice music, and then Mom's car was just like Chick-fil-A cup and like ours like crazy music. It was like, oh.
Yeah, mine's full of like goldfish and Teddy Grahams and sippy cups.
It's so funny too, and I definitely like worry a little bit more, like about things.
Oh yeah.
But I think
you are a worrier.
I think it's a dad thing, especially with a girl.
I think it's just a you thing.
No, but I think it's being a like a girl dad. Like you're like, oh my God, like she's so like I'm just like she's so precious. She's my little baby girl. Like
I feel that way too.
Well, I know. I think it's just like a father, like protector figure. Like you, like I feel the same way about you. Like I'm like I got to protect this woman. Like I worry about you, and I'm like that's just like is me like being I think the leader of the household and being a capable protector. Like I worry about y'all, and then like so with her it's the same way. But being first time parents is an awesome thing.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Our daughter is just perfect.
She is.
Her little personality. She's so much fun.
I know. And I'm like, now that she's walking, I'm like,
I can't wait.
I want like 7 more, but not really.
Okay. No. Everybody make donations. We'll start post a link below.
No, I'm not doing that 7 more times.
I think the government will start paying for it then. So they're sending us checks. I don't know if you have a certain amount, they start just giving you money. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Maybe we're not testing that theory.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust them anyways. They'd be like, actually, we can't give you shit. But yeah, I think, just being first, like that's one thing. The coolest part of our journey is just like parenting together,
figuring it out.
Just have it's so
honestly,
much fun.
Just like figuring it all out.
Yeah.
But being a parent with you is fun. I get to raise a baby with my best friend, and it's just our house is just full of like love and fun.
Yeah, when people come over, they tell us they feel that.
Yeah, they're like, this is the most welcoming, like loving home. I'm like, that's as a host, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot who it was, but they were like, man, your house just feels like so homey and welcoming. I'm like, that is like the biggest compliment.
I think it was Brett's girlfriend said that recently.
Yeah, it might have been Katie.
Yeah.
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 But I'm like, that's the biggest compliment. Like, I love hearing that because that's just, that's what I want.
We're carrying that good energy, babe.
Yeah.
It says a lot about, I think, us and our relationship together.
Yeah.
And all the intention we put there. But we've been through a lot, and we've shared that on the podcast, the ups and downs of the past, right? And
I wouldn't be able to appreciate all of this without all of that.
had you not experienced that?
Yeah. And I think same for you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I it's the most precious thing in the world. I love my life. It's so cool. And it's been a blast. And I think, and someone was saying it's curious, like, especially now with younger couples, a big thing now is like having so much love to give and like just a lot of like infidelity or like even like sharing and, and like we don't vibe with that at all.
No.
We're like, I don't know. I saw something recently, like what happened. The wife was doing something. The guy was all like hitting on some sports player or something. And she was like, oh, they're flirting with him all over him. And the husband was just like, yeah. And like some comment, the lady was like, oh, that's a confident man. And I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty freaking confident and secure in our relationship.
Yeah.
And I would not be okay with that. Like,
No.
I don't know. It's just, we're very traditional when it comes to like, no, we're.
Well, and it's marriage is more than a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's values.
Yeah.
And morals, and you are vowing to love just that person.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays people just think, oh, it's a piece of paper. Like, no, you got to put work and effort, and you still have to date your partner and do all the extra things. And
I just don't want to
my love, if I'm solely devoted in love with you, like it's for you only. It's not to share.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I'm selfish with you as you are with me.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so uncommon nowadays though. Like people willingly allow things. And I'm like, just like, it just kind of blows my mind. And like, hey, to each their own. Like,
yeah.
Listen, I'm not over here to step on your toes or be like, hey, you're freaking wrong. But I just think it's, I don't know, just to be able to like just be focused and devoted to each other, I think is a rare gift. Like nowadays, and like there's never any kind of, I don't know. It's just like we have the understanding, and I just don't want to allow anyone else's energy within that. Like me and you were this close, and as soon as like there's any kind of other person that's either invited in, or whatever, like that's their energy, their who they are is coming now in between that.
Well, it just puts
whether
a crack
you like
in
it or
your
not.
foundation.
Yeah, and like, no, dude, I want to fucking. Like, I want this building to stand for thousands of years, I want it to be powerful, like no cracks.
Yeah.
We're checking this shit. So it's, it's very interesting. Someone was asking me about that recently. They're a little, I think it was Jeff actually. It's like, because he, especially being in fitness, you see that a lot too.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in. Like I said, no judgment towards others. Like, you are you. I just think it's something to be proud of.
Yeah. It's
to maintain that.
thing.
And, it is a beautiful thing. And I don't know. It's cool. So I wanted to bring that part up too, because I think those values are like dying in society.
They are.
They truly are.
Well, and people are so quick to, you have a conflict. Okay, well, let me just go give my attention to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, why are you married?
Yeah.
If you can't work through the good, bad, and the ugly, why?
Yeah.
Why even want to devote yourself to someone for the rest of your life?
Yeah, and you can always, and that's the whole thing though, but like communicating and like finding ways to, you got to be intentional about keeping that relationship interesting and the conversation and the experience is interesting, right? Like, you do. Luckily with me, you got like constant things going on. So it's like, it's always an interesting life.
Oh yeah, it's never boring.
No, I think, I don't know.
I also think we take pride in working on ourselves separate individually. We're both in therapy. We both are constantly like growing ourselves and working on ourselves and, always striving to be our best self. And I think that plays a big part into it too.
Yeah.
Because we have conflict, we have issues, we have internal issues too that, I don't want to force that out on you. I don't want to take it out. You're not my punching bag.
Yeah.
You're my best friend. So I need to figure out how to internally work on that. And that's, I think, huge. And, we constantly are striving to be better.
Without a doubt. Yeah, both.
And taking that effort to be better by,
Yeah.
Therapy or just, whatever we need to do, lifting, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, I mean, shoot, it's just with training, and that's one thing.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm like, I gotta squeeze it in, but like, I know I would lose my mind without. I'd be so much lesser if I didn't have like the physical aspect of me.
Yeah.
I heard the video the other day someone shared, and I was like, I'd much rather get a good workout in than get sleep. Because I feel so much better after a good training session than I do like from a night's sleep. I just do, like, mentally and everything. So like, I'd much rather, obviously I'm not just going to not sleep, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I don't sleep that much anyways.
You run off no sleep and that's fine. But, the saying is true. You can't pour from an empty cup. If we're both empty, what life is that for Ozzy?
Yeah, I know.
We can't be our best self for her and teach her the things we want to do and teach her how to be a upstanding citizen and human being in general if our cups aren't full.
We have to lead by example.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing I think about with like building this. It's like, I can't sell myself short. Ozzy is now a part of this. If she sees me sell myself short, then that's telling her it's okay to sell herself short. Like, keep fucking going no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I want her to keep going no matter what she chooses to do in her life.
Yeah.
Especially in a world that's only going to grow tougher.
Yeah.
And she's going to be a female in it. Like, I want her to be headstrong and just like, boom, no, I'm hellbound on achieving what I set out to do.
Oh, that girl will be.
Oh yeah, she will.
Already is.
but leading by example, and I think a lot of people talk about how they want their kids to be. We've heard it before, like, you should do this, you should do that, and it's like,
but the parents aren't doing anything to do that.
Yeah, like, you're telling me to be a certain way, but like, you're not the example to follow.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, I've heard this before. Like, your kids aren't going to listen to what you tell them to do. They're going to watch you and they're going to follow suit. They're going to look at your habits and what you do. Yeah. I mean, they're going to see those things and that's what's going to lead them into who they become.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's something to think about. Like, when you're complaining, look in the mirror. When you're complaining about how your kid is, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay, they're doing this, but what are your traits? Are you doing these things? They're drinking all the time. Well, do you get home and have a handful of beers in front of them after work every day? Maybe it's just one beer, okay, but still, like, they see that.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Ozzy dipping because she's dipping all the time. But although she does go after my Copenhagen, I'm like, no. But anyways, no. But it's just one of those things to think about. And I think just we're very intentional about parenting and like our communication and stuff. And we're not perfect by any means. I know I fall short in certain ways, and but I think the self-awareness and that constantly trying to improve. We're both doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. It's been fun. I think, and we don't got much time. My sister is currently watching our daughter along with her 3 kids and one of her kids' friend.
Yeah.
So she got 5 kids at our house and our dogs and our cat. So she's got her hands full, and we got to respect that. I'm curious though, what has been the hardest part about all this? Like, if you looking from the outside or from your perspective, I think being a mother, a wife, all those things. I think what's been the most testing part of this journey the past couple years?
I think it's been me.
Yeah.
Because, I had such a hard pregnancy. I lifted every day. We did all that together. I had so much time with you, and then I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, I have to put myself, I still put myself first, but there's an extent that, she's still a baby. She can't do the things that she's not self-sufficient.
No.
So her needs come before mine in certain ways. She eats before I do. She gets things done before I do. She has to go to bed. So sometimes, I had to really put myself not on the back burner, but, she needs to be taken care of. Yeah. And then on top of that, I've had such a hard time postpartum that I think everything else has been so easy, but I feel like it's been just really hard for like me in general.
Without a doubt. And it's been hard for me just to see you do that, because I'm also just, it takes a toll on you. And then I'm just trying to be as encouraging as possible, but I don't understand your situation. And it's like, all I can do is be encouraging. But like, and I don't expect you to receive that and be like, you know what, you're right, Joe. Like, I feel better now. Like, it's still within you.
Yeah, I mean, because, the weight didn't come off like I thought it would. I didn't get back in the gym like I thought it would. My hormones completely tanked. My kidneys started shutting down. Like, I gained 30 pounds in water weight in a matter of 2 weeks. It was just, and then I had to lose all of that. Like, it just one thing after another.
Yeah.
And none of that is, doctors don't really care. Once you have the baby, they're like, all right, you're fine. You'll figure it out. But it takes a toll on you, not only like mentally, but I mean, physically, because there's some, I would come home and I'd be asleep on the couch at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and you would have to do everything.
Yeah.
So
which I don't mind, but yeah.
No, but it was very unlike me when, we would, and then we didn't get time together, and then I was frustrated because we weren't getting time together, and but then I physically couldn't handle anything else, or I was falling asleep driving to my mom so she could watch Ozzy, or it was just, I think the hardest thing from getting pregnant to having her to, a year after has been me. You watching you and doing all this that part's been easy to an extent because I know you got it, and I don't see what you see, but I don't lose sight of what you see. Like, I know it's going to be successful. Ozzy, I know she's loved and taken care of, and there's never a doubt in my mind that girl's not going to have the best life. She does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been the hardest part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I agree. Just watching you it's been hard for me to see too, because I love you so much, and I don't want you to like struggle that way. It sucks, but all I can do is be encouraging and keep pushing you and just like be there for you, and I've had to learn how to communicate, because like me, I'm a very fiery, passionate person, right? So like when I'm like, you're in your head, I'm like, babe, you fucking got this, like, and you're just like, oh my God, this is overwhelming.
That is not helping.
So I've had to learn how to not like do my typical, like how I would amp my fucking self up.
Yeah.
Or like my boys, like I've had to learn how to be like, oh wait, my wife is in a totally different space. Like I just gotta listen to her.
Yeah.
And tell her I love her and she's got this. Just keep it simple.
Let me cry. Let me.
I don't need to get all intense.
Yeah.
There was one time I was trying to get her an ice bath, and she sat over it, and I was like, "Just think about the water. It's just temporary." And like I'm just like giving her this whole fucking thing, and she didn't get in.
Very aggressively.
And it was only
not in like a mean
it was
aggressive.
Out of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like trying to push her in, like get in the fucking water. No, but it was just like I was just trying to fire you up.
Yeah.
You weren't getting ready for a fucking football game or whatever, right? Like you were just trying to get an ice bath and do something different, like out of your comfort zone. And I definitely approached that wrong. But, I realized that, like, holy shit, like, she doesn't need me to be that for her.
Yeah.
I just need to like listen. And then maybe there's a time and place where she needs me to get her all fired up. Just tell me, you know, but I just, So it's been difficult, but like, you're making progress, and there's might be baby steps or whatever, but you're still making progress and you're being intentional about progressing. A lot of people get into the position maybe postpartum to where they're not feeling like up to par, and they're just like, I guess this is what it is.
Yeah, no.
You never have to accept that.
Get your hormones checked. I cannot stress that enough. Everyone's like, oh, 6 weeks, you'll be back to normal by 6 months, good to go. Nope. My completely zero, like tanked.
Yeah.
And it's only been 3-4 months since I've actually been able to be proactive and have a doctor that listens to me to like take the steps to do what I need. So it's been I know for next time, but fingers crossed next time's not that hard.
Yeah. We'll see. It could be a totally different experience, but hey, only time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be, we'll see how it goes. Now, what would you say has been the coolest part of it all?
Raising Ozzy with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Without a doubt.
100%.
Just seeing how much that little girl loves you and how much you love her, and Oh yeah. I look over and I just like smile because y'all are just cuddled up or playing or
God.
It's the best.
Yeah.
having her was the best decision we've ever done.
Yeah, I agree. 110%. Like, God, man. I don't know. There's no words to describe how much I love that little girl.
I know.
And you, of course. You're always number one. I tell people that. And that goes back on the relationship thing and maintaining the values you have or whatever. Is just like prioritize that person you had that child with. Obviously, there's people out there who like accidentally get somebody pregnant, and it's like, all right, learn how to co-parent the best you can, or whatever you decide to do.
Yeah, but your spouse, like the
person you choose to marry and be with, because you want to.
Yeah.
Well, then fucking show them that always.
Yeah. Well, because one day Ozzy's gonna, she's not gonna live with mom and dad forever.
Yeah.
And then it's still just gonna be me and you. So I need you to be. It's always me and you. And how often
do we see that in the world? Like people watching this, they're gonna be like, oh shit, they can reflect on their relationship. Maybe theirs or somebody they've seen, like as soon as the kids are out of the house, like they're lost. They're like, we kind of fell apart. Let's get divorced. I mean, it sucks. I mean, that's the fucking truth. Because guess what? They grew apart focusing on the kid. Yeah. But you got to like put all the intention into both. So focus on each other first, because that's what built the family. Yeah. So I think that's very important. But thank you. So that's awesome. I mean, yeah, watching you mother and everything. I tell you all the time how wonderful of a mother you are, and you do your best, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. And I love to see y'all's bond as well. And I just love our little family unit. Like that's above and beyond the most important fucking thing there is. And I just I'm so I just that's what fires me up at the end of the day. Like that's what the main purpose why like I never want to slow down, because like you guys give me all the power and energy, Yeah. I love it.
I do too.
It's the best.
And it's like it's so hard, but it's so easy at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all what you make of it. But I love test. I love for life to be different. I love challenge, right? So it's just like looking at that and like, I don't know, you can just train yourself to, in your mind, to look at challenges like, not easy, but like, if you want to do it, if you want it bad enough, then it does become easy in a way. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, keeping another human alive is kind of, it's challenging, because especially when you don't know and they can't communicate and they can't tell you things, that part's hard. Yeah. I'm like, she's crying. I'm like, what do you want? Just like, tell me what you want. Yeah. But being a mom's just been, it's been easy. It's been easy to be a wife. It's been easy to be a mom. It's been easy to like transition into these roles. But, I have you to thank for a lot of that as well. I think that's a mutual thing. I think it's just us working together through it all, makes all the other things easier too, like figuring out the business progression and all that. And working through the stuff that even that creates the hardship and all of it. I mean, I think it just all makes it, I don't know. I've just embraced this journey and I've loved it. Like with you, it's just been so fucking cool. And it's just crazy because like there's so many changes coming over the next year, the next 2 years, 3 years, so many years. It just keeps getting better. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to improve, and we're going to fucking reach a whole nother level and be like able to share that with the world. And I know one day we're going to be able to inspire other couples and families to like keep pushing forward and like become, I think we can do a lot of good in the world I think we can lead by a really beautiful example, because I'm very proud of what we have together. Yeah. And it's just the coolest thing. And I mean, people tell me all the time they love our relationship, they look up to it. And I'm like, that's fucking cool, man. Like to be in a marriage and have a family with somebody that like other people look up to that, like, how big of a compliment that is? Yeah. Because like very rarely do I look at other relationships and be like, I want my relationship to be like that. Very fucking rarely. And it's not to knock anybody. I don't think I know of anyone that I'm like, yeah, I think I hold us to a high regard. When I was in my last relationship, I did have my Brian and Rachel Benton. I remember looking up to his relationship too when I was in that position, right? Like, and like their conversation, and I was like, man, like I admire that. Like I don't have that. Like I want something like that. Yeah. That's realistic. Like that can happen. So, and they were a huge, very positive influence for me. So, and I made sure to find it, and like what a guy, man.
So shout out to you guys for that, for being like a very beautiful light in my life at the time. But yeah, I think that's the thing, and just don't settle. And if you feel like you're in a weird place with your relationship and your business growth and all those, that whole dynamic, just work on your relationship and build that bond, because you don't get through anything if you have a strong enough foundation together.
Yeah. And I think, we've both been through things to realize that life is actually really short.
Mm-hmm.
So like life is too short to actually, focus too much on the hard and not just love every day and like be as present as you can and love as hard as you can and just have the most joy and fun out of it while you're here.
Yeah.
Because, we were both almost gone before 30. So it just is wild.
Yeah. Let the difficulties build you and teach you lessons, and then embrace that.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we're at the end of this segment, babe, but last thing, what is your relentless pursuit in your career and as a mother, or and as a person?
Career, stay at home mom.
It's the goal for me too.
Yeah, I want to garden and do all the things, and I always told my mom I'm never having a garden, whatever. But now I'm trying to make sourdough bread, and that's become very difficult. If you people know how to make sourdough bread, send some advice.
Yep. You get it. You'll get it.
But I think just in life in general, just, still just staying on my path to being like the best mom that I can, to show Ozzy the most love that I can, to be the best wife for you, and, while maintaining like my best self. Well, so
you're crushing it in all those ways, babe. It's been an honor to have you here on this. I mean,
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, you've been the most important, influential piece of my life this last couple of years and along this journey. And I mean, I couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you. It's been really cool. I know I tell you, probably not as often as I should, but.
Well, I mean, you have no idea how much that means. I always know I can count on you. So thanks, honey. I can't wait to do this again. We will be. I'm going to come over there and give you a little smooch. You're the best. All right. Oh, shit. My bad. Thanks, guys.
Bye.